Have you ever felt like your emotions control you more than you control them? One moment, you're calm. The next, a single word, a small setback, or even your inner critic sends you spiraling. We live in a world that glorifies control over everything external, money, status, relationships, but neglects the one thing that truly determines our peace, the control of our inner life. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. They understood that no matter how chaotic the world becomes, the mind can remain unshaken, like a fortress. Today, I want to share with you 10 life-changing Stoic lessons that can transform the way you experience emotions and give you a kind of control that no circumstance can ever take away. The first lesson is radical acceptance of what you cannot control. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. Think about the last time you felt frustrated. Was it the situation that caused the storm inside you, or was it your expectation of how things should have been? The Stoic shift is this. Instead of fighting reality, embrace it. By learning to say, "This is beyond me, but my reaction is within me," you stop wasting energy on resistance and redirect it into resilience. Acceptance is not passive. It is the most active form of wisdom because it frees your mind from battles you can never win and arms you for the battles that truly matter, those within yourself. The second lesson is the art of voluntary discomfort. Epictetus reminded his students to practice hardship before it strikes. Why? Because the one who only seeks comfort is enslaved by it, but the one who can endure discomfort becomes free. Try this. Skip a meal, sleep on the floor, take a cold shower. In those moments, notice the fear of discomfort dissolve, and what remains is strength. When life inevitably throws real pain your way, you will not crumble, because you have already rehearsed the art of standing firm. By training yourself in small doses of discomfort, you teach your mind that fear and craving do not dictate your emotions. You do. The third lesson is to pause before reacting. Seneca warned that anger is a form of temporary madness. How many relationships have been destroyed? How many regrets born because someone acted before they thought? The Stoic practice is simple. Create space. When the emotion rises, instead of reacting instantly, step back and observe it like a passing storm. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will my reaction matter in an hour, in a day, in a year? Most storms dissolve before they ever need to reach the shore. Mastery of this pause gives you mastery over your emotional life. The fourth lesson is the power of perspective. Imagine you're looking at your life through the eyes of eternity. The Stoics often practiced what's called the view from above. Close your eyes and see yourself from a higher vantage point, your city, your country, your planet spinning in the vast cosmos. Suddenly, the thing that made you anxious shrinks to nothing. That argument, that traffic jam, that rejection, it loses its grip on you because you realize how small it truly is. Perspective transforms emotional turbulence into clarity, reminding you that most of what disturbs you is not worth the weight you give it. The fifth lesson is to remember mortality. Memento mori, the reminder that you will die, was not meant to depress but to liberate. Every frustration, every anger, every petty worry collapses when you realize time is short. Why waste it in resentment or self-pity? The Stoics saw death as the ultimate teacher of emotional discipline. By holding mortality in mind, you sharpen your focus on what truly matters and release the grip of what doesn't. When you live as though each day could be your last, you stop giving power to emotions that drain your spirit and start nurturing the ones that give life meaning, gratitude, love, and courage. The sixth lesson is detachment from outcomes. We often confuse success with control, believing that if we just work hard enough, manipulate enough variables, we can force life to bend to our will. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Your role is action, not outcome. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do." Imagine the relief when you understand that your emotional state does not need to depend on how the world responds to you. You control effort, intention, and virtue. The rest is in the hands of fate. This detachment creates emotional freedom because no disappointment can enslave the mind that never demanded a guarantee. The seventh lesson is to use reason as a guide, not emotion. Emotions are powerful messengers, but disastrous rulers. The Stoics believed reason was the light that cut through the fog of impulse. Ask yourself, what story is my emotion telling me? Is it true? If it is anger, perhaps it points to injustice, but must I become unjust myself in response? If it is fear, perhaps it warns of risk, but must I shrink when courage is required? When you put emotions before the court of reason, you separate signal from noise, and clarity takes the place of chaos. The eighth lesson is self-reflection at the end of each day. Marcus Aurelius would write in his journal at night, examining his actions, thoughts, and emotions. This daily review is like cleaning your soul before rest. Did I let anger control me? Did I let fear silence me? Did I live according to my values? By reflecting, you transform mistakes into teachers and progress into fuel. Without reflection, you stumble blind. With reflection, every day becomes an opportunity for emotional mastery. The ninth lesson is compassion for others. You may ask, how does compassion control my emotions? The Stoics saw that resentment and hatred poison the one who holds them more than the one they target. By understanding that others act from ignorance, fear, or their wounds, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional battles. Compassion does not mean weakness. It means refusing to let another's behavior dictate your peace. To forgive is not to excuse. It is to reclaim sovereignty over your emotional landscape. And the 10th lesson, perhaps the most powerful, is to live by nature. The Stoics believed that harmony comes from aligning your life with the natural order. What is natural for humans? To reason, to connect, to live with virtue. Every emotion that pulls you away from this, envy, greed, rage, disturbs your inner balance. But when you live with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, your emotions begin to align with your higher self. Instead of being tossed by the waves of desire and fear, you sail steadily, guided by a compass that never fails. These 10 lessons are not abstract philosophy. They are weapons, shields, and tools you can use in daily life. When practiced, they don't eliminate emotion, they refine it, channel it, and place it under your command. And the reward is a kind of freedom so rare in this world. The freedom to feel deeply without being enslaved. The freedom to live fully without being consumed. Think about it. How different would your days feel if you no longer let anger control your voice, if anxiety no longer chained your decisions, if sadness no longer robbed you of perspective? Imagine standing in the middle of life's storms with a calm mind, steady breath, and unshaken clarity. This is not indifference. It is a strength. The Stoics never told us to suppress our emotions. They taught us to master them, to become sculptors of our souls rather than prisoners of impulse. The world often rewards emotional chaos. Outrage spreads faster than reason. Fear is more profitable than peace. Envy drives entire economies. But here lies your secret weapon. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you rise above the noise. You stop being a pawn in the game of manipulation and reclaim the power to choose your state of mind. Emotional control is not about dulling your humanity. It is about sharpening it. You do not feel less. You feel with greater depth, precision, and purpose. Think of Marcus Aurelius, an emperor burdened with wars, betrayals, and constant pressure. Yet in his journals, he wrote not of bitterness, but of patience, humility, and gratitude. He faced the same chaos we do, just magnified 1,000 times, and still chose inner peace. If he could find calm in the heart of an empire, can we not find it in the chaos of traffic, deadlines, or criticism? Think of Epictetus, born a slave, beaten and humiliated, yet he discovered freedom where his oppressors could not touch it, in the mastery of his mind. His body could be bound, but his emotions, his reason, his inner self untouchable. And isn't that the greatest revolution? To refuse to be conquered by what lies outside of you. Now consider yourself. How many times have you given away your peace for free? Someone cuts you off in traffic, and suddenly your entire day is poisoned. A coworker criticizes you, and for hours you replay their words in your head, drowning in self-doubt. A small failure, and you spiral into shame. But here's the truth. No one can take your peace unless you hand it over. No one can make you feel inferior, small, or broken unless you surrender your authority to them. Stoicism hands that authority back to you, and yet, do not think it comes overnight. These 10 lessons are like seeds. You plant them through practice, through journaling, through moments of reflection. Some days you will stumble. Some days anger will win, or fear will whisper louder than reason. That is part of the journey. The Stoics remind us progress, not perfection. Each time you return to your principles, you strengthen them, until one day you realize your emotions no longer control you. You control them. Here is the paradox. When you learn to command your emotions, you unlock deeper connections with others. You become more compassionate because you are no longer blinded by rage. You become more confident because you are no longer enslaved by doubt. You become more loving because your love is no longer tangled with fear. Emotional control is not a wall that keeps people out. It is a foundation that allows you to open without collapsing. So I ask you, which of these lessons spoke to you the most today? Was it the power of accepting what you cannot change, the strength of building inner fortresses, the freedom of letting go of resentment, or the clarity of living with virtue? Share your answer in the comments. I would love to hear how you plan to use Stoic wisdom in your own life. And as you reflect, remember this. You are not broken because you feel deeply. You are only broken when you let those feelings rule you. The Stoics teach us that emotions are not enemies, but energy, raw, untamed, waiting for direction. When you learn to channel them, sadness becomes compassion, anger becomes courage, fear becomes wisdom. You are not meant to erase emotion. You are meant to transmute it. The final choice is yours. You can remain a slave to impulse, forever reacting, forever tossed around by circumstances. Or you can step onto the Stoic path, sharpen your mind, strengthen your heart, and live with the kind of power no storm can destroy. So take these lessons with you. Apply them in your next moment of conflict, your next wave of fear, your next spark of envy. Watch how they transform not just your emotions, but your entire life. Because true freedom does not come from changing the world. It comes from mastering yourself. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more wisdom that strengthens the mind and frees the soul. Your journey toward emotional mastery has already begun. Now keep walking it with courage.